What's going on, Juan? Good to be here again on week 5 now at this point for the insights. We were talking right prior to this about something that was enlightening me to to an extent. And so what we were speaking about was not letting basically the environment or what's going on around you set you back or conform you into anything. Could we elaborate a little bit on that?
Absolutely. Best way to start off, right? It's that you have to ask yourself about your nature. So if you're angry, then your nature is anger. If you're frustrated, your nature is frustration. But when you go and you decide to be loving, then your nature is love. When you choose to be joyful, then your nature is joy. And you are in control of that decision. And notice I said decision because it is a choice. Are you going to constantly move around this world letting people's emotional states pull you in into what nature they have chosen for themselves? Or will you observe, have compassion if they're ready to receive it? And compassion means to get rid of their suffering. Help them see that is a fruitless suffering. Give them insight. Help them see more. But also have the understanding that they might not be ready to receive it. Therefore, if they're not ready to receive it, hold on to your silence. Don't use any energy because every single day we only get so much energy. And we have to make sure that when we use that energy, we're using it where it's actually going to have impact. Be a giver of your energy, but to those who are ready for it, who are ready to listen. Because it's the idea that you don't want to get caught up in trying to make sense to the senseless. And you have to be aware. Is that human being truly listening? And also know when you're giving someone a truth that they want to hold on to, they get reactive, they get defensive, they get combative. What you don't want to do is get caught up in those type of conversations. Because what I understand is that you're opening a door to your lower self. And not to say you're going to get pulled in because a higher energy can't be controlled by a lesser energy, but you are still expending energy there where you have to have the realization that every single time you expend energy, it should be leading to some type of progress in that person's life. Now, the beautiful thing about life, like the most majestic thing, is that when you add value to people, you and you do it with unconditionally, you end up receiving. You do end up receiving. That person probably knows someone who's going to help you out, or because you fed the potential and what's possible for that human being to exponentially grow in life and achieve, they might help you out 5, 10 years from now. But you have to go into life playing the long game. Everyone's so short-sighted. Everyone's always saying, hey, what can I get right now? You know, I'll use fitness as an example. Who's here heard of 5-minute abs? We all know abs don't happen in 5 minutes. Everything that's great in life takes time. So giving, it's the most amazing feeling you can ever. It's an art, master the art of giving. And it's hard to understand it. I can communicate it to you, but until you experience it, because that's the other thing. I can give you all my wisdom, and then it becomes your knowledge. But knowledge without practice doesn't equate to wisdom. You have to earn the experiences of this knowledge and practice it and see where it leads you. But that's the beauty of life, that life is a mystery. And the most fascinating thing that we can do as people is constantly go and keep going on new adventures into different mysteries, different paths, different roads. I'm no longer who I used to be 10 years ago. If you haven't seen me and had a conversation with me in a year or two, I'm no longer that person. I'm already someone else. I become someone else daily because the first thing I do every single day is learn something new, then study it, then recall it, then practice it, then I put it into action. And when I say I put it into action, I'm using it in meaningful ways. And I take that step with something new daily, sometimes multiple learnings. And as I do that, I keep adding more skills to myself and my nature. I'm able to go into the unknown and run on my unconscious. What does that mean? That means that when I go into, let's say, a meeting of some type of new business, or I'm looking to create something new, or I go into a brand new environment, my mind is clear. I'm not thinking. I'm just in my moment. I'm so presently there, which allows me to experience it. And when you get to experience life this way and you learn to do it daily, you just keep adding to your knowing. I don't speak about things I think about because that would be my opinion. I speak about things that I know. And once I know something, in order to retain it, I teach it. So what happens when you're constantly growing, you're constantly practicing new skills, and then you're teaching these skills? How many skills can you embody? Limitless. As human beings, we are limitless. It has to do with what your mind can see. My perspective is I want to achieve what's possible on a gigantic scale. What is that reference to? Jeff Bezos, he built Amazon. Elon Musk built a Tesla. I want to build something of that magnitude. And I know it's possible because it's been done. So my mind sees it. Then I attach my belief because I've seen someone else do it that I can do it. And if you understand my background, I was born with nothing. And my parents, they didn't have the capacity to guide me in life. So I didn't have anyone. I had no examples growing up. Like I didn't have any of that. I'm where I'm at today out of sheer desire and will to be where I'm at. And the beauty of it is that desire and will transcended. And when I say it transcended, is that I started at the beginning because I wanted to build a life for me. But now it's transcended into what I want to do for everyone around me, which also includes everyone who's not around me, who I don't know. What we're doing right now started because we have to reach more people of what's possible so their minds can see it. When you look at your eyes, the visual, when you look at touch, smell, taste, it overlays information to my mind. So what I'm looking to connect with people is that everything is possible, but not just what's been done, not just what's possible, it's also the impossible, also what hasn't been done. Because in my mind, I just imagine millions of supermodels and super leaders. People that model and do the right thing all the time with courage and confidence. People who go into the unknown so they can create new things, so they can grow more, so they can expand. Who they constantly challenge themselves and are living on the edge of what their capabilities are. That's powerful. But we need to make sure that people are able to listen to this message so their minds could see the possibilities. Because if their mind doesn't think it's possible, and let's talk about, we have a lot of people around us who's like, hey, listen, no, that's not possible. No, that's too hard. Hey, you need to be a little bit more realistic. So they're limiting you without you even realizing it. And then you can't even be upset with them because they're not even aware that they are limiting you. That's just their own conditioning. That's what's around them. So the idea is if your mind doesn't think it's possible, when the opportunity is in front of it and it's in front of that human being, you're not going to recognize it because you told your mind it wasn't possible. You're not going to be able to see it. So we need to help people see more. We need to start again with the idea that we are limitless. The possible and the impossible is all doable. And that life is magical. When did we become so realistic? And understand that the world we have around us, the society we have, we're the ones who created it. So if we created it, we can also make it better. We can also create a better perception, a better view. Today, I had two young men approach me at the gym. And the one young man goes and tells me, you know what? I'm just happy. And now I'm smiling. I'm an electrician. I'm at the airport. And I've chosen to not be upset anymore. He goes and tells me, because every single time I see you on, you're always positive. You're always happy. And what's the beauty of that? I didn't have to tell him. He became like that because he observed me. So he chose to emulate that and to discover it. And then once he experienced living life that way, it became part of his knowing. So now he made a decision. Hence, you don't change people by telling them. You change people by showing them through your actions and contributions. But the key is that he wanted it. He made the decision. He earned it. You can't earn an experience until you put yourself there. Then I had somebody else stop me. His name is Frank. Some of you will probably know him from Blink. And he says, what you are is a role model. Everyone observes you and emulates you. And it's incredible to see the patience that you have. Because little by little, you're helping a lot of people. But what they don't understand is that it took you a long time to synthesize who you are. Everyone wants it right away. They just want, like, poof, magic. It's here. They have to practice it. They have to earn it. They have to put in the work. You have to pay your dues. But that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the process. Change to change, not to see the change. And then you'll see the change. Start living your life without expectations of it. Imagine not putting expectations on your actions. Wouldn't you call that freedom? It's simple. Have the goal in mind. Have the biggest dream you could dream of. And move towards it. But move towards it without expectation. And then you'll arrive. Because it's not the way that you think it's going to happen that it happens. It's the way it happens. But if things aren't meeting your expectations, then you're not doing the things you need to be doing to move the needle towards that dream. But I'm going to give you another piece of advice. Pick a dream that you'll never complete. Because joy, and notice, I didn't say happiness. I said joy. Because joy is a feeling. Happiness is the result of receiving something. But if you can achieve happiness, then you could achieve sadness. So imagine just staying with the feeling of joy. Joy and loving. Just being in that state. And every day, instead of having an expectation of what life should be like, or what life is going to give me, start asking yourself, I wonder what this mystery, this magic is going to give me today. I wonder what kind of moments I'm going to get to be present in. And when you're present, life is eternal. You just have to savor the moment. When you're there for a long time. And forget about your past. It already happened. And the future is not here. So don't go there. Because you're missing out on what's in front of you. And you need to be present to receive the gift of life. See what happens. Actually be there. Now, if I'm in a negative state, am I open to life? No. I'm defensive about life. So what does that mean? Always be on time. Always be prepared. But when life does happen, traffic, kid, school, and you happen to be late, don't 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 lower yourself. Don't get into a bad emotional state. Doesn't make sense. When something bad happens, when life throws maybe a car accident, maybe a bill, don't lower yourself. Because as soon as you lower yourself into that negative state, as soon as you're living from your lower self, you're closing off to what's possible. We need people to stop being reactive because we want the best for them. We want them responding to life. When someone makes you feel a negative emotion, if you can train yourself to give it a day before you respond, see what happens. And see if it's even important to you anymore. Because when we let those negative emotions overtake us and those negative thoughts, and that's our focus, we only create destruction for ourselves. But go and see what happens when you wait. When you approach everything from a place of calm, peace, only seeing what things can be and who people could be. And just because you see the best in everything, am I saying, hey, listen, I'm going to go, I'm just going to follow everything that this person tells me because I see who they can be? No. Double check the information with other believable people. You know? Do a little critical thinking. Trust yourself. Follow your heart. But don't let the mind put the roadblocks in front of you either. And understand, if you want a different life, you have to do things that you don't know and that you've never done. Start unraveling the mystery of life. Stop living in your routines. Stop doing the same things over again. Don't do the same things over and over again. Keep looking for new experiences, new information, and then make sure that you use it. I can give you all the information in the world, but if you don't use it, if you don't put it to action, then it's meaningless. And then make sure that whatever it is that you choose to move towards, make sure it means something to you. Make sure that you're always excited about it. I get my energy because I'm enthusiastic about what I'm doing. I love fitness. Physical, mental, emotional. I love energy. I love people. I love joy. I love contributing. I love giving. There's nothing more magical to me that when I know, because of something I did, that someone all of a sudden starts smiling. And not only are they smiling like that, they're truly in that bliss. And notice the word I use, bliss. What happens when we have a world where people are giving that to each other? Because I don't know about you, but I know me. I'm a lot happier when someone gives me something than when I give it to myself. So if you give a lot, you're going to receive a lot. And when it's unexpected, it's everything. That's when it means the most. Because somebody took the time to think of you. And start looking at your energy as your time. So be mindful of it. Think about where you're spending your energy every day. Ask yourself, is this building and creating my life? Or is this taking away and destroying my life? Use that as your litmus question. So you know if you're spending your energy wisely. Because your time, that's your love. What you put attention to, that's your love.